Like the Khomeini, this is the Taco Supreme leader of Iran. The Khomeini, he's a 33-year-old totalitarian dictator, and this, Taco Supreme leader of Iran has handpicked Ebrahim Raisi to be presidente, or so it seems, okay? Maybe I should say it like that. So the Khomeini, maybe he wants Ebrahim Raisi to be the president, or maybe the Khomeini wants Ebrahim Raisi to be Taco Supreme leader, Khomeini just like himself. So what's going on with Iran's presidential election? Well, first, you had the Khomeini, right, the fucking dictator, eliminating nearly 600 applicants for president. They said, hey, Iran, who wants to be president? 600 people raised their hand, and then the Khomeini was like, ooh, shit, no, we can't have all you guys run, so we're just going to pick you. He actually only has one candidate that he likes, a favorite. This is what the Khomeini has been doing every one of these goddamn elections. He cheats to make sure one of the fucking candidates, the one that he likes the best, is the one that gets elected. So, okay, all these, 600 applicants for president, nearly all of them are going to get eliminated, and the 7 that are left are all right-wingers. They're all hardline, right-winging, conservative, dirty, rotten sons of bitches. 2 are considered moderate centrist, but none of them are considered left, liberal, socialist, communist. Iran has, it looks like, by this, all right-wingers, that Iran is missing half of their political discourse. Throughout history, you have people that say, we need to change shit. And then other people are saying, we need to keep things the same. And you don't have any liberals. You don't have anybody in Iran saying we need to change shit. So this means that without the other half of the political discourse, Iran is without a community. Iran is without a heart. Now, Ebrahim Raisi. Who is this Ebrahim Raisi guy, right? I think he was just like some hardline judiciary chief. I think he's like the judge right now. He toured the oil-rich southwestern Khuzestan province and addressed 5,000 supporters at a sprawling football stadium in the city of Al-Vaz late on Wednesday. Despite the rising infection counts, scorching temperatures of 113 degrees Fahrenheit, roaring crowds mobbed the stadium to hear what Ebrahim Raisi had to say. And what did he say? Well, he said that Khuzestan is very deprived, and he promised that if he became president, he would solve Khuzestan's problems. So there you go, Khuzestan. Your problems are all you're deprived, so he's going to make sure you're not deprived anymore. The only thing that Iran needs is a Nelson Mandela Muhammad Ali. As soon as a Nelson Mandela Muhammad Ali arrives on the scene, just shut the front door. Shut the front door. That's all you need to know. Hey, remember when right-wing conservative Ebrahim Raisi killed thousands, if not tens of thousands of Iranians? I mean, some of them were terrorists, but a lot of them were communist dissidents in 1988. Remember when Ebrahim Raisi killed thousands of Iranian dissidents, communists, for having an opinion different than the supreme leader? So you got the, Alvin and the Chipmunks, right? You got Jonah and the Jets. You got, Elvis and the Supremes. The supreme leader and the Guardian Council. The supreme leader, and it's hard to say supreme. That's why Taco Supreme, and then Khomeini. It's his name, and it's not the first Khomeini. He's the second Khomeini. I don't even think they're fucking related. So it's just some other asshole. It's like, wait, you got Khomeini, you're Khomeini, and are you the same Khomeini? No, you're a whole other Khomeini. Well, get in there anyways. Who cares? It's good enough. And, since 1989, Khomeini, Ali Khomeini, not the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah has been the Ayatollah Khomeini he died in 1989. The current Khomeini is Ali, and he's been in there for 33 fucking years. Totalitarian dictatorship. Jesus Christ, like the Assads. The supreme leader was only in there for 10 years, but this Ali Khomeini thinks he gets to be in there for 33 motherfucking, for 3 goddamn decades. You only get 1 fucking decade. So Iran needs a strong, major, healthy dose of democracy. Iran needs to get themselves some referendums, initiative, and recall. And Iran needs to get instant runoff voting. We need instant runoff voting and do 2 rounds. Top 5, the first round, top 3 the second round. You probably could figure it out with the first round, but you might need another runoff, so you might actually have to have 2 elections. And I believe that this is good up for at least 50 candidates, if not 100. So this is better than, you know, all of America's elections except for Maine and New York City. It's a presidential election, you know, compared to parliamentary, but it's fair for independents. So instant runoff voting, if Iran got themselves instant runoff voting, then they would have an election system that is far superior than 49 of the 50 American states. Instant runoff voting doesn't get passed in America because, you know, the two-party system. So this is what, you know, Iran needs to do. Get yourself some referendum initiative and recall. Institute instant runoff voting, ranked choice voting, preferential voting. And number 3, get rid of the Taco Supreme Leader and the Guardian Council. Get rid of the totalitarian dictatorship. 33 years? Was he even elected? What, did he get like 4 fucking guys to elect him? How did he become leader? The Khomeini dies and then this other, that would be like, oh, Tom Smith died? Well, here's another guy named Smith. Let's just put him. That's not even like, at least get the guy that looks like the guy. He just has the same last name, not even. Get rid of the Taco Supreme Leader and the Guardian Council. Iran. You got to get rid of the Taco Supreme Leader and the Guardian Council. Why? Because they're about to install Ebrahim Raisi. And who the fuck is Ebrahim Raisi? He's that right-wing conservative, you know, piece of shit that killed thousands of Iranian communists. How come you have no liberals and communists that have been running in the last, you know, 3 or 4 fucking decades in Iran? Because Ebrahim Raisi killed them. He killed them all in 1988. So you had some terrorists, right? Some of these, it seemed like they just said political executions. There was an order given. Ebrahim Raisi was a part of that order. Thousands, if not tens of thousands of Iranians. Some terrorists, but other dissidents, other liberals, you know, socialists, communists, liberals, lefties. In 1988, remember when? So the population of Iran is 83 million souls. Iran is a mountainous, arid, and ethnically diverse country of southwestern Asia. Much of Iran consists of a central desert plateau, which is ringed on all sides by lofty mountain ranges that afford access to the interior through high passes. Most of the population lives on the edges of this forbidding waterless waste. The capital is Tehran, a sprawling, jumbled metropolis at the southern foot of the Elburz Mountains. So Ebrahim Raisi killed thousands of communist Iranians. Hey, are you a commie? Hey, are you a liberal? Hey, are you not a right-wing piece of shit? Are you not a right-wing conservative piece of shit? Jesus Christ. Iran, you have a fucking drought of ideas and, you know, culture, a lot of shit. Frankly, if these are the 7, you need to elect the most, you know, fucking liberal, lefty, whatever, radical one of the goddamn 7. That's clear as fuck. So, okay, that Ebrahim Raisi killed, you know, a whole bunch of, you know, liberal Iranians in 1988. But what else is the right-wing conservative Ebrahim Raisi up to? Well, he's also awful on women's rights. Okay, so right-wing conservative is awful on women's rights. Big shocker there, right? Killed a whole bunch of liberals. Big shocker. Right-wing conservative Ebrahim Raisi is also a disaster for internet freedom. He's going to cut the internet off for Iran. So Iran, he's going to be just like Belarus's Lukashenko, right? As soon as he got elected, you know, as soon as the election didn't go his way, he cut the fucking internet off and said, fuck you motherfuckers, I'm the dictator, I'm staying in power, ain't shit you motherfuckers gonna do. And this is actually the current president of Iran, Rouhani. So President Rouhani, the current president of Iran, went on to criticize the hardliners because they have nothing else to talk about. It's got to be, you know, just a bull. So they're criticizing the current president, saying he's terrible, this and that. And so the president of Iran, Rouhani, went back out and said, you know, look, I'm the fucking president. I don't know who the fuck you motherfuckers are. And he was making fun of their positions on women's rights, the censorship of the internet in Iran. These are 2 issues that the former central bank chief Abdel Nasser Hemmati focused on Raisi during the 3-hour debate. So Himati seems to be the most competent, and, you know, he's actually reached out to the U.S. government. Himati seems like there's two liberal, you know, actually no liberals, there's only moderate and centrist, right? So Himati is one of the so-called moderate centrist. And then that ethnic Turk, that damn ethnic Turk is the other one. But Himati, I keep hearing Himati. And so I would think that you get Diverger's law. So we know who the establishment wants. The establishment wants this right-wing Ebrahim Raisi, who's anti-internet, anti-women's rights, anti-liberals, right, to the point of killing them, right, to the point of murdering that which he does not like. There is no, I guess, downside to just one mass fucking murder in Iran. So the presidency, the women's rights, interesting that there's no female candidates accepted by the Taco Supreme Leader and the Guardian Council. You had 600 applicants, and so you have, you know, 200 women or so. So you have all these women that apply to be president, but did the Taco Supreme Leader and the Guardian Council accept any of the women to be candidates? Why there's 7? Why did you eliminate 590 motherfucking, and only 7 was good enough? Only fucking 7? I don't know. That just sounds like a bunch of... And women can't be president? Okay, Alvin and the Chipmunks, I hear ya. Women can't be president. So these right-wing conservative fuckers, right? They're all right-wingers, no liberals, because he killed them all in 1988. He said that women can't be president, right? That's what the Taco Supreme Leader is essentially. Women can't be president. So they are terrible on women's rights. And isn't that exactly what Elizabeth Warren said about Bernie Sanders? She said that Bernie said that he said women couldn't be president, that they were genetically inferior, and therefore women never ever should or could be president, just so long as he was around. So there you go. Himati tried to distance himself from President Rouhani. He's widely perceived as the candidate representing the president's administration. I don't know if that's it. I would say Himati would be the main oppositional candidate. You have to coalesce around one of these 6, you know, fucking bastards. You got to coalesce, you know, because we know who they want. They want Ebrahim Raisi. That's who the fuck, you know, the goddamn fucking... The Khomeini, the fucking Taco Supreme Leader. That's who the establishment wants. But President Rouhani, you know, he's like, you're going to pick a person that's terrible on fucking women's rights and terrible on internet rights? Raisi should be prosecuted, not the head of Iran's judiciary. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. So Ebrahim, not Abraham, but Ebrahim Raisi, like raisin without the N. So Ebrahim Raisi should be prosecuted, not the head of Iran's judiciary, said Hadi Ghaemi, the head of the New York-based Center for Human Rights in Iran. The selection of Ebrahim Raisi to serve as the head of the judiciary will send a clear message. The rule of law has no meaning in Iran, and those who participated in mass murder will be rewarded. 2016 members of the late Grand Ayatollah Hossein Ali Montazera's family put out an audio recording of him criticizing the executions as the biggest crime in the history of the Islamic Republic. So he was criticizing the family. Raisi, he never publicly acknowledged his role. Somehow that audio recording proves it. It proves it, you know, that audio recording. So Ebrahim Raisi has never publicly acknowledged his role in the execution. So we can only mostly say probably, seems like, you know, but did he actually do it? Most likely, right, in all probability. Very strong likelihood. So he's not bragging about it. It's not like this is giving him political capital. He doesn't talk about it while campaigning for president, and he's never mentioned him being a part of it. Given that his predecessor, Larijani, was named to a U.S. sanctions list, Ebrahim Raisi likely can expect the same. He also takes over a judiciary widely criticized by international rights groups for being one of the world's top executioners, as well as conducting closed-door trials of those with Western ties. At Raisi's appointment to the foundation in 2016, Khomeini called him a trustworthy person with high-profile experience. Khomeini, this is the Khomeini, right? This led to analyst speculation. This is 5 years ago. We already knew he was, you know, Ebrahim was your, you know, Khomeini's favorite 5 years ago. He went ahead and did this, okay. Khomeini might be grooming. He might be grooming Ebrahim Raisi as a possible candidate to be Iran's third ever supreme leader, a Shiite cleric who has final say on all state matters and serves as the country's commander-in-chief. 2016, the Khomeini appointed Ebrahim Raisi to run the Imam Raisi Charity Foundation. Oh, whoa, not the Imam Raisi, charity foundation, but that apparently manages a vast conglomerate of businesses, endowments in Iran, so that was a big fucking deal. One of the many bonyads or charitable foundations fueled by donations or assets seized after Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution. That's what the Imam Raisi Charity Foundation is. These foundations offer no public accounting of their spending and answer only to Iran's supreme leader, the Khomeini, expected to formally appoint Raisi as soon as Friday to a 5-year term that could be extended. 1988. 1988 wasn't that long ago. 12/21, so 33 years ago. 33 years ago. They killed the Mujahedin, and I'm assuming they're bad guys because they're terrorists, because the Mujahedin. But we gave weapons to the Mujahedin to fight the Russians, but then they became Al-Qaeda. So 1988, you're going to have, Ebrahim Raisi is going to kill thousands of Mujahedin and Iranian communist dissidents, political, and they were just fucking, when you have mass fucking murder, right, you just got mass mayhem and mass amount of fucking crimes. Read some of the specifics because it was just, I don't want you to be triggered, okay, but it's fucking terrible shit. This Ebrahim Raisi, if this is true. So this is an order from the first Khomeini. The first Khomeini, the Ayatollah. This is the Ayatollah. Khomeini gave this fucking order. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. In the name of God, oh man. As the treacherous Monafiquin, which we call the Mujahedin, which is it. I'm not even talking about the same. Do not believe in Islam. And what they say is out of deception and hypocrisy, as their leaders have confessed that they have become renegades as they are waging war on God, as they are engaging in classical warfare in the western, northern, and southern fronts, and as they are collaborating with the Ba'athist Party of Iraq, spying for Saddam Hussein against our Muslim nation, as they are tied to the world arrogance and in light of their cowardly blows to the Islamic Republic since its inception. It is decreed that those who are in prison throughout the country and remain steadfast in their support for the Monafiquin, the Mujahedin, are waging war on God and are condemned to execution. That's the Ayatollah Khomeini's order. The 1988 executions of Iranian political prisoners was a series of state-sponsored executions of political prisoners all across Iran, starting July 19th, 1988, lasted for approximately 5 months. The majority of those killed were supporters of the People's Mujahedin of Iran. Although supporters of other leftist factions include the Fidian and the Tudeh Party of Iran, Communist Party, were executed as well. According to Amnesty International, thousands of political dissidents were systemically subjected to enforced disappearance in Iranian detention facilities across the country and extrajudicially executed pursuant to an order issued by the Supreme Leader of Iran and implemented across prisons in the country. Many of those killed during the time were subjected to torture and other cruel, inhuman rape, inhuman, degrading treatment or punishment in the process. So, Jesus Christ, this is who Ebrahim Raisi, when he fucking carried out the Ayatollah Khomeini's 1988. They might say, oh man, it was wartime, bro, you don't understand, it was war, everything was, up is down, everything was backwards, nothing made any sense. Shortly before the executions commenced, Iranian leader Ruhollah Khomeini issued, that's the Ayatollah, issued a secret but extraordinary order. Some suspect a formal fatwa. This was a fatwa? This fucking mass murder was a fatwa? The set up special commissions with instructions to execute members of the People's Mujahedin Organization of Iran as Moharrebs, who are those who war against Allah, and leftists, the Mortads. You fucking Mortad motherfuckers. These are apostates from Islam. So you have those who war against Allah, who go to war against God, Israel means war with God. So Israel is a Mohareb by definition. And leftists are Mortads. They are the apostates from Islam. Leftists? You fucking Mortad motherfucker, you. Oh, so the Pedro Castillo is a Mortad? Ah, get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. So you Mohareb, son of a bitch, you Mortad motherfucker. Amnesty International recorded the names of over 4,482 disappeared prisoners during this time. So that means nearly over 4,000, nearly 4,500, right? Just 18 away from 4,500 of documented names. So how many, Iranians did Ebrahim Raisi killed? How many? Well, 4,500 that we know for sure. Estimates suggest it's probably around 30,000. Probably around 30,000, right? All these prisoners, all these jails, all of them get, a fucking mass execution and a fatwa from the Ayatollah Khomeini, the leader of the Iranian Revolution, the George Washington of Iran. 30,000 prisoners may have been killed in one of the biggest cover-ups of all time. A leaked audio tape which surfaced in 2016 purportedly highlighted Ebrahim Raisi's role in the 1988 executions of thousands of political prisoners. In the recording, Ayatollah Hussein Ali Montazeri, the deputy supreme leader at the time, is heard chastising 4 officials in charge of the systematic executions, which remain one of Iran's biggest mysteries following the government attempts to block any investigation into the deaths. It fell on Mohsen Mayorazadeh, a former provincial governor of little note, to point out the obvious. The regime, he said, had aligned the sun, the moon, and the heavens to make one particular person the president. Okay. Hey, that one particular person, that right-wing conservative, that Ebrahim Raisi, remember when he killed all them liberal communists? Remember when he killed all them dissidents? Thousands, if not tens of thousands. Some probably terrorists, right? Probably, but the rest, a bunch of dissidents, a bunch of people that were, liberals thought differently, atheists. In 1988, remember when Ebrahim Raisi participated in that? So there you go, leading figure in the 1988 massacre of 30,000 political prisoners, probably is going to become president in, 6 days, just a few more days away. So that's setting the stage for dramatic consolidation of power. There you go. The fucking Khomeini did it again. The Khomeini was up there some fucking shit. The Khomeini went ahead and he's picked Ebrahim Raisi. It's his boy. He's polled 59%. Only that La Gigi or whatever got 8%. Says there's not even anybody close to Ebrahim Raisi. Ebrahim Raisi, the Khomeini has spoken. The Khomeini, hey Iran, you don't even have to vote because the Khomeini has already told you Ebrahim Raisi is going to be your fucking president. So the best thing that Iran can do strategically is to coalesce around one of the other candidates, any of the other 6 candidates, and roll the fucking dice. Roll the motherfucking dice. If I was an Iranian, that's how I would vote. I want democracy. I want freedom. I want, better economy and shit. And it doesn't seem like you have a very good democracy. I'm all about the revolution and what have you, keep your religion, all that shit. But democracy is ruled by the people. We, the people, have the power. And that's the end of history, right? Liberal, neoliberal, capitalist democracies, that's the end of history. Capitalist democracies is the bee's knees. Neoliberalism, got to drink it on up. So there you go. The Khomeini has handpicked Ebrahim Raisi to be the fucking president. So Iran, don't let the fucking Khomeini get away with his shit. He's going to pick a sexist. Come on, Iran. Come on, Iran. Come on, Iran.